Ja, Kevin hat gerade gesagt, dass er eingeschlafen ist.
War das so langweilig?
Deswegen er hat versucht, Marie zum Schlafen zu bringen, ist dabei selber eingeschlafen. Okay, mal gucken. Also machen wir mal Storm Surge an und dann gucken wir mal.
Also bei mir zeigt er noch nicht.
Okay, ich warte einfach. Also bei mir sagt er, ich streame schon seit... Warte mal, wo ist denn die Zeit? Seit über einer Minute.
Also hier sagt er, das ist so. Na super, jetzt bist du auch.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Okay, musst du Bescheid sagen, wenn du da bist.
Bin da.
Okay, alles klar. Also du siehst was, ja?
Ja, wenn ich die Augen aufmache, sehe ich etwas, ja.
Okay. Und wenn du die Ohren nicht verstopft hast, hörst du was?
Das ist schlecht. Ich habe mein Ohr verstopft, ich habe Kopfhörer.
Achso, okay, gut.
Affirmative. Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Ich habe da meine
Failsafe
kleine
override engaged.
Ja, warte mal
Are
ganz
you
kurz.
sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Okay, jetzt kannst du fragen.
Warum ist sowas an der Hülle des Schiffes?
Das ist eine sehr gute Frage. Ich weiß es nicht.
Ach ja, das Umstecken der kleinen Plastik.
Here's to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
Ich will weiterschießen.
So
Hey,
we gotta
Kevin.
climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but you know.
Nochmal, kann ich die abschießen? Nee, das geht nicht. Okay, also ich muss alle. Ich darf nicht an denen vorbeigehen, okay.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%.
Ja, das ist das Wohnzimmerlicht. Ich habe nichts an der Einstellung geändert. Ich habe keine Ahnung, soll ich mich bewegen oder soll ich die ganzen Dinger kaputt machen?
Not get hit again.
Ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich würde gerade sagen, irgendwie Respawn.
Ja, genau.
Keine Ahnung, was wir machen.
We're almost to the regulator.
Du stehst im Weg, Mädel. Den wollte ich kaputt machen.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
And now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Ach, grab control, adjust control. Was soll ich denn hier machen?
The EPS lines
Okay.
the warp engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, choke on it. Get down! DX to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp.
Ich auch nicht, Kevin.
We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another one.
Starbase is hailing us. Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
Okay, Kevin muss entscheiden. Weil er ja eingeschlafen ist. Genau, der heißt Poe, ja.
The docking clamp isn't functioning. We're exploring our options.
The option is to detonate the emergency release.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order.
Okay, Marco.
Jara?
Kannst nicht sehen.
Ah, da ist Yes, sir, oder It's not that simple, oder Trust me.
Trust me?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Okay, ich mach Reverse Polarity.
Starbase, stand. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Prepare crew. This is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Ich hab das zu spät gemacht. Ich wusste nicht, was ich machen sollte. Ich hab nicht kapiert, was er von mir will.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it. Hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc to approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edselar there to access the interior.
Roger that. Going there now. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
Ja, na klar.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this.
Okay, Kevin.
Get in there.
Das kannst du sehen, ja.
Ah, ich weiß, was
You better be right behind me.
Weil das habe ich gesehen.
We're in.
They're safe, bringing the Sith fully online.
Do it.
Ja, hat geklappt, ja. Immerhin, ich habe den ersten Tod verursacht.
Carter!
I'm okay. I'm okay. But that's still a...
Here, let me help you.
Das muss was.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Wer hat was von Mike Tyson?
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIP is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Amat?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Ach so, okay. Nach einem Kampf mit ihm, oder was?
You disobeyed my orders. Well,
Okay, jetzt ist Marco wieder dran. I shouldn't have done that. Ah, oder nee, Moment. Nee, Kevin hat das letzte entschieden. Jetzt ist Marco dran. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Oder it was the right decision.
Kreuz.
Also X, ja?
Ja, genau.
Okay. Ach so, das meinst du, Kevin. Okay, ja, ich hab's verstanden, ja.
Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the
you
information I had.
disobeyed my orders. And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom, bridge to lower decks.
Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order, but you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Kevin will den Captain rauswerfen. Okay, Kevin muss jetzt entscheiden, was wir wählen. Kevin ist wieder dran.
Kevins Idee.
Was sagst du, Marco?
Ich habe gesagt, ich bin für Kevins Idee.
Achso, Marco sagte auch, der Captain soll rausgeschmissen werden. Genau, wir übernehmen jetzt das Kommando. Aber das würde mich jetzt natürlich interessieren, was wäre passiert, wenn wir diese Explosion gewählt hätten? Also, das Spiel können wir ja nochmal spielen. Und dann andere Entscheidungen treffen. X, okay.
Am I dismissed, sir?
Dismissed? We have work to do. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermont, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Hotar.
Yes, sir.
Mach deinen verdammten Controller auf.
Ich kann mal gucken, ob das Kabel so lang reicht. Nee. Ich habe auch noch einen zweiten PS4-Controller. Ich kann, wenn das Spiel mal... Ach, Moment, ich kann doch... Genau, ich kann pausieren, ich kann gucken, wo der zweite ist und den schon mal laden, dass ich im Notfall wechseln kann. Wenn ich den zweiten finden würde. Okay, der zweite Controller lädt, das heißt, wenn der alle ist, ist es. Genau, eine Woche wollte ich noch sagen. Ja, na klar, gut vorbereitet. Was soll ich denn sagen? Irgendwas wollte ich noch fragen. Naja, vielleicht fällt es mir ein, das habe ich jetzt völlig vergessen, ist aber egal. Ich hole mir eben noch was zu trinken, Jungs, einen Moment.
Ja, vorbereitet. Da haben wir vorhin drüber geredet, du bist überhaupt nicht vorbereitet.
Marco, was hattest du gesagt, weil ich das Handy hier gelassen habe?
Ich habe gesagt, da haben wir ja vorhin drüber geredet, über vorbereitet. Du bist überhaupt nicht vorbereitet.
Wie? Ich bin nicht vorbereitet? Okay, ja, ich meine, ich bin so gut vorbereitet, dass ich schon mal den ersten Tod verursacht habe, ne? Und Herrn Poe in den Tod geschickt, obwohl ich nicht wusste, was ich machen soll.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
Ach so, genau, das wollte ich noch sagen. Ich habe schon eine Theorie, auf welche Folge das anspielt. Hast du schon eine, Marco?
Nein.
Okay, und zwar Season 1 Next Generation, da sind sie doch auch durch so einen Sturm oder so eine Wolke geflogen und da ist ein Wesen an Bord gekommen, das von denen hin und her gesprungen ist und das Picard mitgenommen hat am Ende in den Dings, in diesen Nebel. Lonely Among Us oder so. Ich weiß nicht, ob du dich daran erinnern kannst. Das ging, glaube ich, zuerst in Dr. Crusher oder nee, zuerst in Worf, dann in Dr. Crusher. Und ich weiß nicht, ob jetzt nicht auch irgendwas aus dem Nebel da reingegangen ist in die Trill, weißt du? Weißt du, welche Folge ich meine?
Ja, weiß ich.
Okay.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone.
Wir hören nicht
You
auf
all
ihn.
know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Ich dachte, die war
There's
sowieso
ahead,
weg.
Mr. Handar.
Ja, die haben die schnell repariert.
Und ich will schnell kennen. Was machen wir, wenn wir weiter weg von der Station sind?
Das ist Star Trek 2, ne? Die Musik aus Star Trek 2, oder? Eben, eine Variante davon.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotara system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
Okay, Marco ist dran, ne?
Dreieck.
Ja, ich frage Marco, ja, weil ich glaube nicht, dass du Star Trek 2 gesehen hast.
Engage.
Simple, but effective.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really.
You don't look so good.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Ja, vielleicht fängst du dich an nach dem Spiel, Kevin.
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deuterium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
Ja, du darfst nicht vergessen, Kevin, Franco fand Star Trek nicht ohne Grund cool, ne? Franco hatte auch guten Geschmack.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Cobliad before. You're
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
Bin ich dran oder Marco?
Ich hatte da eben.
Achso, dann bin ich, okay. Dann nehme ich Dreieck.
I don't like the attention it brings. Being treated differently than everyone else.
But you are different. That's not something you can change.
True. But sometimes it makes it even more difficult than it already is.
And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition. I've seen it happen before.
Okay, Kevin, he's learned his lesson. I won't let that happen, or no risk, no reward. Alles klar.
We all have to chase our dreams, don't we? We need to take some risks. Isn't that why we joined Starfleet?
But not at the expense of other people's lives. It's too high a price to pay. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a director.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship.
Nein.
And everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
Okay, jetzt ist Marco dran. Thanks for coming. Please don't worry, oder that looked bad.
Viereck.
Viereck. Okay, please don't worry, ja? Ja, wenn du uns sagst, was da passiert ist, dann können wir es dir sagen, Kevin, welcher das war.
I don't want anyone to worry. This is just part of who I am. It doesn't define me.
Of course. I completely understand. And I would probably feel the same way if I were you. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Complete the diagnostic sequence, and this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
Storm in the Hotari region will interfere with our transporters, so we need all available shuttlecraft in working order. Officer Maris. I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Millie. I figured you'd want to know.
It's my fault she's in there. I should have made her go first.
Maybe, but I wouldn't want to see Rupert like that any more than her. Dr. Duvall said she'll be back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
Noch die Melville, okay.
I can't stay long.
Ach, Kevin, ja, dann hast du, glaube ich, den von J.J. Abrams gesehen. Einen von diesen neuen, die für Marco und mich kein Star Trek sind. Dann kein Wunder, dass du damit nichts anfangen konntest.
I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them. We're making all our last-minute checks and security, too. Tactical and security are short-staffed.
Okay, Kevin, du bist dran. Achso, einen Moment, während du aussuchst, die Dreieck. Okay, geht gleich los, ich muss kurz die Spülmaschine öffnen. Okay, Dreieck will Kevin one thing at a time, richtig? Ja, es ist halt einer, die für uns nicht wirklich Star Trek sind. Wo der Maschinenraum aussieht wie eine Fabrikhalle mit Zement. Grauenhaft.
We'll just have to take things as they come. Control what we can, roll with the punches.
Next thing you're gonna tell me you're listening to Andorian jazz.
No.
The point is, the right time might never come. So, I'm just gonna roll with it. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Millie almost got killed out on the hull. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Okay, Marco, did I do something wrong? Are you okay? Oder you like me? Ja, wie gesagt, ignoriere das. Das ist kein Star Trek-Film.
Viereck.
Miranda, is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe even better than fine. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Nur damit, weil Marco ja solche Liebesgeschichten gerne mag, mache ich I feel the same way für dich, Marco.
You don't have to explain it. I feel the same way.
Ich dachte, das ist kein Discovery in diesem Spiel.
Do you want to find out what that something is? If it's there for you, and it's there for me, why not give it a try?
Okay, jetzt ist Kevin dran. Die Ecke.
Ich sehe das schon kommen, die brennen gleich mit dem Shuttle durch.
Gut, Kevin.
Are you kidding me? I just said yes.
I wanted to be sure I heard that right.
These are uncharted
Marco wird gleich die
territories.
Beziehung kaputt machen.
I'd call it a
Oh, da
chemistry
kannst du von ausgehen.
You know, with us.
Ja, jetzt ist Marco wieder dran.
Nix.
Das wusste ich.
We can take it slow. It's not a 5-year mission or anything, but we got plenty of time together.
Well, let's not drag our feet on
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
it. I have to get back to that to-do list. They're probably looking for me.
Can't blame him.
Ja, genau. Wir bauen das schon wieder zurecht, Kevin. Wir werden schon Markus Interferenzen ausbügeln.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Oh,
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
wir sind im richtigen Moment stehen geblieben.
Integrity holding. We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
Okay, Moment.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
Excelsior.
Can't get it any clearer. It won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Grayson, okay.
Come on, Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Ach so.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Das Shuttle wird gleich zermatscht.
Nein, ich bin hier. Ups.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Here's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it. we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Ich habe das wirklich ein bisschen schnell reingezogen.
We've got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
So macht man das so. Wusch.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Sag ich doch.
Ambassador Spock. The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Die haben die Stimme eigentlich ganz gut hingekriegt. Ich bin dran, ne? Ich nehme... Ja, das stimmt. Das stimmt. Was sag ich denn zu Spock? Welcome aboard.
Wow. Let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer.
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz.
Ach nee, PO ist Petty Officer, okay.
To thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
Okay, Kevin entscheidet jetzt. Dreieck? Okay.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Otari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? Well, all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Okay, Marco ist dran.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Karl Dahl hat auch hier ein Cameo.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Yeah, we need your experience. Der soll
Your
werden.
experience comes
Genau,
with
Science
nuance.
Officer.
But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed. And the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Okay, jetzt ist wieder Kevin dran. Have the Allidians retaliated? Oder can the Hotari hold the mines? Oder how did this happen? Ja, genau, der kam von Volcano Manor, genau. X.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illydian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
Okay, this is Kevin. They don't want peace, oder they'd still be exploited, oder I agree with Solano. Ich hole mal eben noch ein bisschen Wasser. Du bist dran. Genau, der war Vulkanier, genau. Du bist dran, Kevin. They don't want peace, oder they'd still be exploited, oder I agree with Solano. Ja, ganz genau. Ganz genau. Und Discovery hat jetzt gesagt, er ist halb Mensch, halb Vulkanier und 100% Michael Burnham. Okay, Viereck. Let's still be exploited.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will surely come again.
Either the Illidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Okay, jetzt ist Marco dran. Ja, aber immerhin. Ist doch gut. Achso, Marco sieht das gar nicht. Okay. This gives us leverage. Oder we won't be trusted. Oder so I guess we're culpable.
Dreieck.
Ich hab's nicht verstanden. Hast du egal oder Dreieck gesagt?
Dreieck.
Okay.
We could use that as leverage with the Illidians. They'll want the Federation to continue buying from them.
There might be something to that, Commander.
Putting that on the table could make the Hotari more hostile.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Illidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illidian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
Okay, it's a perfect storm, nehme ich.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity and they took it.
That would also explain the Illidians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional, but I'm not opposed to it.
Okay, also Kevin, du wolltest X, immer noch X oder willst du was anderes? Ja, und wie jetzt stirbt jemand? Ich habe den doch schon einmal gekillt. Ich hab schon den Protagonisten habe ich schon einmal gekillt. Ja, ich warte. Dreieck, okay.
With all due respect, Ambassador, I'm not a trained diplomat.
That's exactly what we're going to leverage.
I began my time in Starfleet as a science officer, not as an ambassador. We must be adaptable in the line of duty.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace will very well depend on it.
Okay, Spock mag uns jetzt mehr. Hast die richtige Wahl getroffen, Kevin.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of his starship to concern myself with.
Okay,
I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
Ich nehme Viereck.
Commander Chova, is there anything you do enjoy?
I take pleasure in the satisfaction of a job well done. I suggest you try it sometime. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
Was that a joke?
No, couldn't have been. One nice thing about Vulcans, Chobak is the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity. Doc says I should get used to it. Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I went first.
Now that sounds like self-pity, and I'm even less interested in that.
Nilly. Okay.
Let's just crack the shuttle open and see what we're dealing with.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Das Spock-Symbol gerade rot? Nein, das war der andere, der Chowak, der Chefingenieur ist auch Vulkanier. Und der war rot. Das war nicht Spock, das war der andere Vulkanier. Move, achso, die Hand soll ich, okay. Kann ich auch was anderes
Ja,
drücken?
aber ich wusste das doch nicht. Das ist doch so ein Statue.
Nein, ist doch in Ordnung. Nein, es ging nur darum, Kevin will nicht, dass wir Spock verärgern. Und deswegen hat Kevin gefragt, weil die sehen sich natürlich ähnlich.
Okay.
Hallo. Okay.
So.
Ja,
I know
mit
about
Pferd,
your
aber
talk
sieht
with
nicht seltsam.
Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me. And I know you'll respect that.
Okay, Kevin ist dran. Ja, das kann ich verstehen. Ja, die haben ja meistens den gleichen Haarschnitt und dann die spitzen Ohren, ja. Kevin, bist du noch da? Ich glaube, Kevin ist wieder eingeschlafen. Okay, Marco, dann ziehen wir dich vor.
Dreieck.
That's not gonna happen.
Ach, zu spät, Kevin.
And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
Okay, Kevin entscheidet. Falls er noch da ist. Viereck, okay. Ja, ich hätte auch die Warp Coils genommen.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
Okay. Nein, 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 nein.
Oh Gott.
Okay, merkt euch das.
Nee.
Achso, das hatte ich schon, okay.
Ich weiß es nicht, ich habe nicht aufgepasst.
Ich glaube, dann haben wir alles.
I checked every coil on the
Wie der
board itself.
Tricorder funktioniert, Kevin.
If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey,
I'm not here.
we're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Okay, natürlich sag ich, always time for you, ne?
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
Now that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always feed in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
Is that another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More important things on my mind.
Ach man, wieso ist Marco jetzt dran?
Dreieck.
Ah! Ah!
Do me a favor. Come back safe.
Deal.
Ich glaube, die stirbt.
Be seeing you.
Aber wir sind grün mit ihr, okay.
Encelar Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now. Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
Ja, genau.
Same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 1.3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you've come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Lydians.
Okay, Kevin, du bist dran. We're honored to be here. Nice to meet you. Oder we've traveled a long way. Alles klar.
It's very nice to meet you.
Likewise, I hope...
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation. The reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But Either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
Ja, kein Problem, wir warten auf dich, Kevin.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here. That guy was something.
Let's keep an open mind.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Ja. Warte mal, jetzt ist Marco dran, ne? Marco, du musst entscheiden.
Ja, ich weiß.
Wie gesagt, wir können das alles nochmal spielen und dann andere Sachen nehmen.
Dreieck.
Dreieck.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Okay, Kevin ist dran. Ja. Ja, was wir auf jeden Fall machen müssten, ist, dass diese Docking Clamps in die Luft jagen, wie der Captain gesagt hat. Und gucken, was passiert. Viereck, okay.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobyard?
She's not
She
part
can
of...
speak for herself, can't she? Then let her. Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobyard, you would
Ja, genau.
anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobyard is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elidians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elidians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobyard suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
Ich will, dass Spock uns mag.
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered, and I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor. So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Good.
Perhaps, Commander Rydek. Perhaps. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No, it was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
Okay, Marco ist dran und ja, ich habe Zelda The Minish Cap mal gesehen. Das hat Evil Bloody Eyes mal gespielt. Vor vielen, vielen Jahren. Aber ich erinnere mich da nicht mehr so genau dran. Okay, Marco entscheidet jetzt.
Viereck.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other. But that's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Elidians for decades, I would agree. It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Elidian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Elidians?
Kevin, viel Spaß bei der Entscheidung.
Not Both.
Okay, das ist wieder so eine Entscheidung, wo man ein neues Spiel anfangen kann. Hast du verstanden, wer ist? Dreieck, okay.
If I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
Mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred. We will take back our mines by any means necessary.
And you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I suppose there is some sense to that. I hope we meet again, Jara Ryan.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
The captain and ambassador have it handled. I've got my own mission.
Oh, das ist blöd, ja. Da hätte ich wahrscheinlich auch keinen Bock wieder anzufangen. Warte mal, kann ich hier laufen? Ja.
Soothing. Such rough terrain. No wonder the Hotari are so tough.
Ja, kann ich verstehen.
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Elidians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
The Hotari have suffered enough at the hands of the Elidians.
I couldn't agree more.
I assume you were there the day the mines were seized from the Elidians.
Not seized, reclaimed, and restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive, before the Elidians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
Okay, Marco ist dran. Ach so, du hast das über die Switch gespielt. Ja, also ich würde das auch nur über den Retro-Buy spielen, wo ich dann direkt auch immer Save States machen kann, wo ich will.
Dreieck.
Did you have help from someone else?
Hotare stands alone against the Elydian forces. We don't need help from anyone. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Elydians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
Okay, also jetzt... Warte mal, habe ich gerade Kevin das weggenommen? Nein, Marco hat jetzt gerade, jetzt ist Kevin dran. Also, the Resolute can hold its own, oder it's a science vessel, oder the fleet is always within reach. X. Okay.
No need to worry. Even in a worst-case scenario, the fleet is always within reach.
But it would probably take them quite some time to get here.
Maybe. Or we might have other ships in the sector.
Of course. Sidron. A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Commander Rydek, I'm encouraged to see the Federation supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
The Elydians have no right to your land. It was clear which side was more deserving of our recognition.
It's so different to have someone on our side. These are unusual times, to say the least. Much is changing. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Calvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
Okay, Marco. You don't trust them? Oder they took your place? Oder they are against peace?
I get the sense you don't exactly trust them.
I don't trust their instincts, which are leading us to war. My fear has been that the Elydians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Okay, Kevin entscheidet, ich muss mal eben kurz aufs Klo. Ach, du streamst morgen? Cool. Dein Level 1er? Okay, Galvan? War das einer dieser Helden?
Because of what happened in the mines. Is it Galvin they're afraid of?
It's entirely possible. But I don't know for sure. Whatever Galvin is doing in those mines is turning everything upside down. No one knows exactly what's happening.
Ich kann jetzt nicht Pause machen.
Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
Okay, ich wechsle mal eben den Controller. Okay, dann lade ich eben den anderen nebenbei auf. Okay, ich bin dran, ne?
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But that's what concerns me. Whatever they're hiding, it can't be good.
How can we know?
I'd better see what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you. I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
Sorry, I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured in the interest of fairness, I should offer another perspective.
Of course.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality, as does any hope you might have for a supply of dilithium in the future. So, why you would choose to side with the Hotari escapes me. Without Lydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. But clearly, you weren't aware.
Okay, Marco ist dran.
We are and will remain completely neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution to this conflict.
As is ours. Of course, the question is, at what price? Major Solid Arminta, Special Attaché, Lydian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
Okay, Kevin ist dran. Yeah, okay.
You should know better than to believe everything you're told.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives, that it was more than just the storm, that somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You just answered your own question. How do a group of miners do something that in theory can't be done? That's how. Harnessing the storm.
But even if it's true, how does that even happen?
You tell me.
If you'll excuse me.
Mach doch nichts, Kevin, alles gut.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
Otherwise, it'll be an extended stay in the Hotari system.
Okay, Marco.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chova. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Da kämpfen wir.
Ja, der kann ja ganz zufällig einen Unfall haben.
When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Weil ich sage, ein Shuttle starten. Okay, cool.
Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Ganz genau.
Warte mal, jetzt ist Kevin dran, ne? Was ist geschehen?
Nah, Lieutenant Commander Chovak's not so bad. You know, once you get used to him. And, I've learned a lot working under him.
I have a feeling I'm going to have to work harder. Be a political animal like you. This new first officer coming aboard. This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position. Westbrook here. First probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem? I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and used the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
Boah, was nehme ich denn jetzt?
I don't really know anything about Commander Rydek.
Yeah, not many do.
But you're right. She's definitely an outsider.
Maybe that's what Solano wanted all along.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there. With 2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. Don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
Okay, Marco, du bist dran.
Ich habe gar nicht aufgepasst, was der gesagt hat, aber okay.
Der hat gesagt, dass der Captain ihm gesagt hatte, dass er für einen ersten Offizier, Marco ist dran, für einen ersten Offizier irgendwie besser mit den Leuten zurechtkommen soll.
Das muss aber nicht zu viel. Yeah.
Viereck.
Is that why you're being so friendly to me? Politics?
That would be clever, but I think you give me more credit than the captain does. You're all right, Diaz. And you've got potential. You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up the good work. Who knows? Solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too. Of course, if you get an officer's commission, they'll put you on another ship.
Okay, Kevin ist dran.
You know, I'd be the best leader Starfleet ever had. Lower decks always have to fix all the problems Command causes. Maybe I'd just save everybody some steps.
Well, don't forget about us little people when you're running things.
Of course not. You gotta remember where you came from.
Here, this is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Atari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually. We got something.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
Was soll ich jetzt machen? Okay.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
Now, look here. Current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations, they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
Okay.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out.
A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
Here I thought the Elydians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks and warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
Okay, Marco, du bist dran. Viereck, okay.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Elydians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
Okay, Kevin.
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation. And the Queen. Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
That's the thing. It doesn't make sense to bring us here. Tylus said that Galvin and Sidron have restricted access to the mines, even to the Hotari. So they don't want anybody to learn what they've found.
Then calling in the Federation is a funny way of going about it. I don't think the Elydians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
Elydians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydak, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari.
Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Galvin and Citron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I still appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
It's hard to tell.
Marco? Wer? Ach so, die Außerirdische, meinst du Tylus?
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine. Assuming the Queen isn't part of this. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the residence. But this came from the mines. But it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Lydians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. But we're, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotar...
Marco, ich habe eine andere Idee. Das könnte Technologie vom Ticon Empire sein. Weil die hatten doch auch damals bei diesem Outpost da verhindert, dass die Ferengi und die Enterprise wegfliegen können. Und die haben dann die ganze Energie abgesaugt. Weißt du, was ich meine? Und na, mal gucken.
Party have acted in bed, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
Okay, Kevin ist wieder dran. Ich hole mir eben Wasser nochmal. Dreieck.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption. And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
I didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Took some damage on the way.
Alles klar, Kevin.
That ionic interference scored the hull plating.
Cool, dass du dabei warst.
Let's try pulling together.
All right.
3, 2, 1. It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No, nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Warte mal, ich bin jetzt dran, ne?
Okay, I'll apply pressure. Will you...
Alles klar, Kevin. Da muss ich jetzt alleine dafür sorgen, dass die zusammenkommen und Marco die Beziehung nicht zerstört.
Here, I'll help.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Okay, Marco, jetzt bist du dran.
I thought security was the detail to be on. Now all of a sudden you're interested in engineering?
Just the engineer.
Come on, start pulling chips.
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
Nicht mit der Hand.
Wait. Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Ich bin dran, ne?
Well, if it's not natural, then someone might have put it there. It could be a tracking device, some kind of sabotage, or even a bomb.
Which is why we need to get it to the containment lab.
Come on.
I can't make an exception. Not even for you.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels. We shouldn't do this alone.
Okay, Marco.
Yeah.
Miranda, you gotta be more careful. Someone hears that, they could think you're talking mutiny.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can help. Okay, stand back. Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core. Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you. Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast? But she usually doesn't scare easy.
Well, of course she's taking it seriously, but that's her job. She's on duty, she's gotta be on the lookout for danger.
Yeah, but talking about sending a distress call on her own, that's going too far. She was probably just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
Okay, Marco hat die Theorie aufgestellt, dass sie stirbt. Okay, mal gucken.
Commander Rydek was able to work behind the scenes during the negotiations. He made contact with a representative from the Hotari delegation named Tylas. She mentioned an unusual artifact of unknown origin being held under tight security within the Hotari Palace, which she believes came from the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute. Commander Rydek, if you want to take it from here.
Of course. Tylas managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these scans using my tricorder. It appears to be some sort of control panel, possibly connected to the warp disruption weapon, originating on Tau. Of particular interest is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the origin of.
Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with Federation records.
Displaying symbols from Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to further analyze.
Soll ich mal das nehmen, Marco? Hey, Kevin.
Genau, es sind die Klingonen, ich wusste es.
Okay, dann nehmen wir mal das Richtige. Das hier.
.2% match.
Got it.
Ha! Ich hatte recht. Ha!
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Khan Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takan were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Is it possible the Hotari found Takan technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Takan is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
Kevin ist jetzt dran, wenn er wieder da ist.
I can't speculate about how much they know, but one thing's for sure. They know how to use it.
Indeed.
Which might explain how they seized control of the mines and targeted us with a weapon that prevents warp travel.
Computer, what is the last reported discovery of other Takan artifacts?
Stardate 41386.4. The USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Takan outpost in the Delphi Ardu system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship. The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 63, Guardian of the Takan Empire.
Unbreakable energy draining field. It starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, what else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Takan used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully understood. Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then current Starfleet science.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
We have Takan technology on board right now?
We might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
What? Ich mach das Portal zuletzt.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi Ardu system or attempting to make contact with Portal 6-3.
Ist General Order 7 nicht das, was sie verhängt haben über Gott, wie hießen die noch? Die dort, wo Pike gewesen ist. Weißt du, was ich meine, Marco? Wie hießen die noch? Die diese Illusion schaffen konnten, die Delta Vega, glaube ich, oder? War das so? Ja, kenne ich, klar. Ach so, du meinst den Bolianer da. Ja, okay, ich verstehe, ja. Ja, die waren schon immer bei Sato vertreten. Die Andorianer sind auch blau. War das nicht General Order 7, Marco? Nee, das war nicht Delta Vega. Meine Schwester hat sie immer Popöchen genannt, weil die doch hinten so ein Po hatten. Die mit dem riesigen Gehirn und hinten ein Po. Genau, Talos 4, genau. Yeah, Starfleet General Order 7 was a directive that forbade contact with the planet Talos 4. It specifically stated no vessel under any condition und so weiter. Okay. Hey, ich erinnere mich gut an die Sachen.
Okay, ich lese gerade General Order 7, beziehungsweise der Verstoß.
Genau, Todesstrafe, ne?
Das ist das einzigste Death Penalty, was noch an der Föderation existiert.
Genau, ja. Ja, genau.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
What sort of planet is Delphi Ardu 4?
Delphi Ardu 4 is an M-class planet, a barren rocky world with little to no vegetation and frequent ion storms. The giant crystals that grow there absorb energy, but it is not understood how they do so. The entire Delphi Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 6-3.
Frequent ion storms. That can't just be a coincidence. Someone from the Takan Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Takan Empire?
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Takan Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Takan outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
As I have said, they were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Takan technology and can control it, see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
Ich glaube, Marco, jetzt bist du, glaube ich, dran, ne?
There's only one way to find out. We need to see what's down there for ourselves.
I might be able to help with that. We've been able to triangulate the source of the ionic interference and warp disruption to a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know where to look.
Commander Reinek's right. We need to know what's down there. What the Hotari are hiding. To better understand what we're up against.
Ich muss noch mal kurz auf Klo. Gute Nacht, Kevin.
To neutralize it if we can.
Captain, embarking on a mission to the Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
I just want to make sure this doesn't blow up in our faces. That's why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydek on a covert mission to Tau. Assuming you're up to the task. It would require absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
Warte mal, dann bin ich jetzt dran, weil du warst eben dran, glaube ich, Marco, oder? Aber wenn Kevin nicht mehr da ist.
I'll get the away team in and out. They're in safe hands with me.
Under normal circumstances, that would be the case. Given the sensitive nature of this incursion, I'm afraid you'll have to go it alone. I'm hoping Tyler can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality, aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
Okay, du bist dran, Marco. Hast du Dreieck gesagt?
Nein, Viereck.
Talus will be essential to my success. Not only her knowledge of the mines, but her ability to gain access, particularly now that we know which mine we need to get into.
Make sure she understands the need to keep this covert.
She's not going to want her people to know about this.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary arrangements as discreetly as possible.
Bridge to Captain Solano. The Illydians have moved additional ships to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime. Doing so will provide Commander Rydek as much time as possible to complete her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
Petty Officers Diaz and Edsolar, where is the crystal formation that you found in the shuttle? I have tasked Ensign Calloway with performing a full analysis of the tetrametric pulses.
Security brought it to the containment lab.
I was just there. They don't know anything about it. Security never checked it in.
Miranda never got there?
She's the one that had the crystal formation?
Yeah, her and the rest of the security detail from the negotiations.
Diaz to Maris. Carter Diaz to Miranda Maris.
Commander Westbrook to Petty Officer Miranda Maris. Respond.
Something's not right.
She's still on the ship. She has to be.
Computer, locate Petty Officer Miranda Maris.
Petty Officer Miranda Maris is in the isolinear storage array on Deck 5.
I'll go find her.
Good.
I am sure Mr. Diaz can attend to this on his own.
Wäre jetzt sie wirklich tot, hast du recht, Marco.
Someone improperly pulled these isolinear chips.
Bist du dran oder bin ich dran? Dann suchst du dir was aus.
Kann ich nicht lesen, kannst du das aussuchen?
Ach so. Heißt Call for Miranda oder Enter silently. Okay.
Miranda, you in here?
Ich vergesse das immer, weil ich halt auf dem Fernseher gucke und da mein Bild nicht blockiert wird.
Hello? Hello? Hey! Miranda?
What the hell are you doing, Carter? You almost knocked me to the lower level. What's wrong with you?
Geh, Marco, du bist dran.
What were you doing running from me?
I didn't know it was you. There's no reason for you to be in here.
Commander Westbrook said the crystal formation we found in the shuttle never made it to the containment lab.
I don't know why he'd say that. I brought them there myself. Whatever he told you, he got it wrong. All I know is where I left them.
Why didn't you answer when I tried you on the comm badge? Or when I called out to you in here?
I guess I was caught up in my work. Now, if we're done here, I have to go. Do you mind? I'm in the middle of my shift.
Du bist dran, Marco.
Hold on a second. What's in that box you're carrying?
It's not the crystal formation, if that's what you mean.
No, it's a data storage drive.
It's for secure data. It's really not my place to talk about it.
I want a straight answer, Miranda. What are you doing here?
Carter, if things are gonna work out between us, I'm gonna need you to trust me a little more than this. Because this is not a good start to a relationship. And I don't get why you're acting this way.
I trust you. Really, I do. I'm just trying to understand what's going on here.
Then you can go back and tell your superiors I delivered the crystals, and that's all I know. That seems simple enough to understand.
Etzelar de Diaz. What's the holdup?
Don't answer that. You and I can work this out. Please.
Okay, Marco. Ach so, du siehst es nicht. You're out of line. I'm going to respond oder don't respond.
Let go of me. I'm going to respond.
I can't let you do that.
Edsolar de Diaz. Are you okay?
Diaz to Edsolar. I need some help.
Wir wollen das mit der
So I see you found each other.
You were taking so long, the commander sent us to see what the problem was.
And you said you needed help while we were on the way.
Diaz, you were sent here with specific orders, and fighting your crewmate wasn't one of them. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just let them explain.
I'd like to hear that, because I know what it looks like.
Wer hat eben entschieden? Ich weiß es nicht mehr. Okay, dann mach ich.
There's something seriously wrong with her. She's not herself, I'm telling you.
What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Well, for one, she was copying data onto this.
This drive is unauthorized.
There are ISOs all over the floor.
And that's why I was in here, investigating this situation. And when Carter came looking for me, we got our wires crossed. It wasn't anything more than that.
Okay, du bist dran. X hast du gesagt?
Look, I wish I was wrong about this. That I was overreacting. More than anything. But I know what I saw. And it's not what she's saying.
I can't believe this.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think we need to call it into security. She can explain herself in a brig.
Hold on a minute. We don't need to put this on anyone's permanent record. Carter said you're not yourself. If something's wrong with you, we should head to sickbay and the doc will fix you right up.
Yeah, I haven't felt right since I came back from Hotari. I think I should see the doctor.
You two know her? If you really think she's not well, we can take her to sickbay first. But what I know is this is a security breach, and we should treat it as such.
Please, just let me go see the doctor.
She did have a bumpy ride back on the shuttle. Come on, Carter. We should get her taken care of.
You better be sure about this.
Okay, Marco, du bist dran, ne? Viereck? Aber ich konnte das leider nicht verstehen.
Ja, Viereck.
Let's take her to sickbay. It's better than the brig, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Fine. Get checked out by medical. You two go with her. I'll put this back together.
Marco, wollen wir morgen weitermachen? Oder willst du noch ein bisschen?
Das weiß ich nicht. Ich wollte schon längst schlafen, aber ich wollte die Story weiter.
Ja, ich finde...
Ich wollte wissen, wie es weitergeht.
Ja, genau. Aber ich glaube, da kommt halt noch einiges, weißt du? Aber wie gefällt es dir bisher?
Es ist interessant, also es ist teilweise wie so eine interaktive Star Trek-Folge.
Ja, genau. Und ich finde es auch cool mit dem Tukon Empire und so, weil ich weiß, dass ich damals schon gedacht hatte, dass ich das schade finde, dass das nur so eine Folge war, weißt du? Dass das nie wieder irgendwie aufgegriffen wurde, weil ich fand dieses Tukon Empire und dann war da dieses Portal und ja gut, aber wenn sie jetzt General Order 7 darauf gepackt haben, dass da niemand hin darf, also ich finde das ehrlich gesagt ziemlich cool bisher. Und es ist eindeutig also besser als alles, was Discovery, Picard und Kurtzman, also komplett. Also ich will auf jeden Fall wissen, wie es weitergeht, weißt du? Das ist nicht so wie bei Picard, ich will den Klamauk sehen, der da war, sondern ich will wissen, wie es weitergeht. Ja, she was assimilated as a jeune fille très sinistre. Ja. Deswegen, willst du noch ein bisschen, Marco? Oder, weil wie gesagt, also ich mache das nicht ohne dich weiter. Ich streame das mit dir weiter. Also du wirst auf jeden Fall nichts verpassen. Nur ich glaube, da kommt halt echt noch einiges, weißt du? Weil das, was ich gesehen habe, dieses Video, das nur zusammenschneidet, diese ganzen Story-Elemente, das war schon 6 Stunden lang auf YouTube. Und ich meine, wir haben ich weiß nicht, ob das Video überhaupt anhält bei den Entscheidungen oder so, weißt du? Deswegen denke ich, dass da halt noch einiges kommt. Und wie gesagt, also willst du noch ein bisschen weiter oder wollen wir Schluss machen für heute? Okay, dann machen wir Schluss. Und wie gesagt, dann machen wir das demnächst weiter. Aber ja, also mir gefällt's gut. Also ich stimme zu, dass das ja, sich im Grunde wie Star Trek anfühlt. Also dass es kein Discovery-Scheiß ist.